man, and I said, I'm here to read for the show, and he's like, follow the yellow line. And I'm like, excuse me? He said, just follow the yellow line. And I didn't know what he was talking about. And he looked down, and I looked down, and sure enough, on the ground was this dotted yellow line that had an arrow on it every 10 feet. So I follow this thing. I make a right, I make a left. I'm like in this labyrinth of hallways, and there's nobody around because it's Saturday. I see the Price is Right wheel sitting in the hallway there, and it leads to an elevator. And then the elevator button was yellow. I press the button. I get in the elevator, and there's a yellow dot on the floor. I get on the elevator. I go down and down and down and down. I didn't even know, but there's like a huge building underneath that building. So the elevator door opens, and sure enough, the yellow dotted line continues. I follow it, and then at the end of the hallway, I see somebody. Now, this is just like so eerie and so creepy. It's like an episode of Twilight Zone or something. And there's these double doors, and the doors open, and there's Carlton Cuse, and he says, he goes, here, read this, You're going to be on in a second. And he goes inside the building. Now, I didn't know who he was. It turns out he's the showrunner of the show, which means he's, the big boss guy, producer guy. So I'm looking at the sides, which is the script that I have to read, and it's a full page monologue about a guy who chases about a detective and inspector. Evan, was it Evan? It was Evan Rydell, I think the name of the character was at that time. And I run into this into this abandoned building, chasing a suspect. Something goes off, something happens, and I end up shooting a cat. But in my report, I denied killing the cat or something. It was just like all this stuff. So I read this, and I'm like, how am I going to memorize this whole thing? There's just no way. I read the whole thing from top to bottom. Now, this is where it comes in if you want to be an actor, okay? I read this whole thing from top to bottom. The door's open, and it's just a dark room. And he goes, come on, let's go. You're on. And I said, okay. I just set down the script, and I just went into like, I don't know, Zen mode or